Okay, so day two from Vienna, day four of the trip. Um, we got in middle of the day, late afternoon yesterday, early evening. Um, we did a little walking around to find some dinner. It was raining and we were pretty tired, so we called it an early night into the apartment. Yes, apartment. It's awesome. Uh, Nick really hooked us up on this find.
Yeah, boy.
We'll get a tour of it tomorrow before we leave. But it's really, really awesome. In a good part of town with really great metro access. The public transit system here is really excellent. The best in any city that I've ever been to. I love public transportation, always have, and it is so easy to get around here. Joe had happened to say I would think it would be impossible to get lost here because it's really easy to find a metro. Five underground lines and something like 50 or 60 trams that run through the city. It's the fourth largest tram network in the world, in a city that's not necessarily huge, which is really cool. Um, the city itself is very pretty, very old world. Um, Reminded me a little bit of Venice with the way that there's no green space, with the exception of some parks throughout the city, but giant, big avenues between buildings that are designed just for walking. Car transportation is outside of the buildings, and then the interior blocks tend to be walking paths, and they're just these big avenues.
And even horse transportation.
Yeah, there are some horse and carriage that go through there as taxi service, um, but it's really cool. The subway, going back to that, is interesting. Nick calls it efficient, and I think that's a really good way to describe it. Uh, but things like, for example, the escalators, when there's no people on them, they stop. Saves energy. Doors don't open automatically. You have to manually you push a button and that signifies that you'd like the door in front of you to open. But if there's nobody on the train in front of that door, exterior or internally, who want to get in or out, the doors stay closed. Saves energy, which is really kind of cool. And it's a system that I don't understand why we don't have all over the world. It's the only city I've ever seen that does that. Thought that was really interesting. Today we did a nice bit of walking around as well. We saw the two major cathedrals inside the city, St. Peter's and St. Stephen's. St. Stephen's is the larger and the older of the two. Did a tour of the crypts there, so we got to go underground and see some of the mass graves and whatnot. Really kind of cool and creepy. The one was built in the 1400s, and that's the newer of the two. I forgot the year on the older of the two. But the old one looks new. The new one looks old because the older of the two has been renovated in 1950. So it looked kind of modern in a way, where the old one was old, 1400s. Saw some classical music this evening at the St. Peter's, big organ there, free organ concert, which was really great. Got some amazing food on the whole this vacation to this leg of the trip. Um, didn't realize how good this cuisine is. Absolutely stick to your ribs, delicious. Um, and then we just kind of walked around, saw the city. We had a really cool experience today. We also went to an art museum, saw some of the masters there, some Rembrandts and some Bellinis. Really, really cool. Then there was a protest going on outside, and some sort of anarchist versus neo-Nazi esque group protesting, and they were. It was weird. It was interesting to see. Kind of scary in a way. Tons of police. They had the streets blocked off, and there were police just lining these streets to block these two groups from protesting. We came back to the apartment after that and rested a little bit, then went out again tonight. After dinner, we were walking around at night, doing some photography. Coming back through the main part of the city and past a casino, of which there was a big bachelor party going on. Once we got to the train station, we found the other half of that. We saw the bachelorette party and tried to get Nikki to talk to one of these fine young ladies, and he He said no, to which I instantly responded, yeah. Because that should surprise nobody. And then Joe and I got handcuffed together with some furry handcuffs.
And got extorted for the key.
Yes, and then we got extorted for the key. I gave them some euro as a gift for the wedding, I guess. And we got a strawberry flavored condom. So yeah, that was our evening. So we saw real police. We were put in handcuffs, and we ate some great food and saw some really great art and some beautiful churches and lots of bones. We saw lots of bones. But that was Vienna. Tour of the apartment tomorrow. Lots of pictures to come. We actually have Wi-Fi here, so hopefully I'll get some of them uploaded. Alrighty. Good evening. Good night. Goodbye. I don't know any of that in German. Guten Nacht. Nacht with a CT at the end?
Nacht.
Yes, Nacht. Guten Nacht.